Hello everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Main Character Syndrome. I'm your host, Cheesymanfredo, aka Alfredo Morales. And with me here as always is my podcast husband, Julian. Say hi, Julian.
Yep, hello. Despite what Cheesy said, I am single. Ladies, reach out.
We have an open relationship.
It's true.
He picks up chicks, he fucks them, and I get to watch.
Cheesy, does this mean that you're also available? Does this mean I can monopolize your time, slowly stealing you from Julian, forcing you into my harem? Is that possible?
Yeah, sure, why not? Fuck it.
Nice.
This is all for show. No one told my partner. This is all for show. This is all a joke. I
wake up one day and realize, wait a minute, I've been cucked.
I've been cucked. I'm getting cucked.
Yes.
Oh my god. What if there was like a guy who was into cucking and just didn't know, like that people look down on that? That's it. That's the joke. That's my premise. For
I think that was a Tim Heidecker bit.
Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss.
Mm-hmm. And bliss makes me piss. That is C2wol, by the way. Guest for today.
Hi, I'm C2wol. You may have heard my voice before, but maybe you haven't. You know what?
Yeah, they've been on before.
Cool.
They've been on this show before. Probably, what is the third time you've been on?
I'm not sure, Cheesy. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Podcasts, they're all a blur to me.
No, I got you. I've been Yeah, I gotcha. Before we go on, I'd like to thank Protus for being the guest on the previous episode where we were talking about AI and how it sucks. And then at the end of that episode, we just started generating a bunch of AI images to laugh at. So we're hypocrites and we're evil, and maybe you should kill us? ?
Look, the real problem with AI isn't that it sucks; it's that it doesn't swallow.
True.
That's pretty good. Did you steal that from somewhere?
No.
All right, that's good.
It's probably been said somewhere else before, but I haven't heard it, so I'm not stealing from anyone. We just had the same idea.
Made it up.
Yeah.
It's a lot more original than my frequent joke of just stealing the quote from Ratatouille, where he says, "I don't like food, I love food. If I don't love it, I don't swallow."
I don't like AI art, I love it. Oh man, anyone could generate art, but it takes a real artist to generate art.
Wow, it almost sounds like that was the message of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's Ratatouille, but he doesn't want to become a chef. He just wants to like generate art. His dad's like, "This isn't art, but it is, Dad. It takes skill. It takes skill to figure this stuff out."
I work really hard to pick all the keywords that go together to form this image.
Look, Remy,
Dad,
ink is fuel. You either put down the lines or you're gonna die.
That's pretty good.
Side tangent. The food Ratatouille, the vegetables, fucking delicious. I made it for the first day. It was so fucking great. It was so
I've never had Ratatouille. I've never had it.
It's really good. It's good hot. I think it's good cold as well. But it's just a lovely side dish that you can you can prepare like a huge casserole dish of, and then you can have like basically everything if you want to.
I like making it like how they did in the movie, all like fancy and pretentious like.
I just fucking make it.
It's like, it's a stew, delicious. But it's a stack of a stew.
Yeah. Oh, wait a second. Really? Does it not normally look like it looks like in the movie? I thought that's what it was supposed to look like.
No. That's actually
look like the Ratatouille from Ratatouille.
That's actually a different dish, I think. It just reminds him of Ratatouille that he had as a child. More stew diet.
Is it stupid American baka gaijins got the French recipe wrong? Is that?
I think it's literally just a different French recipe that they called Ratatouille.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe it's like it reminds him of Ratatouille, and that's why it's called Ratatouille. I don't know.
We got to get Brad Bird on this podcast. His programs they leave us with so many questions.
We've been talking a lot about Brad Bird. I was like, we watched The Incredibles, and I came up with my own fan fiction where the government is the person who made all the people with superpowers, and I call it The Boys.
The Boys.
Please laugh.
Ha 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 ha
Please
ha
laugh.
ha ha ha.
But anyway, I've been at work. I don't know if I mentioned. I mentioned in the previous podcast, but we have to play like Christmas stuff on the TV
Oh,
that's
lovely.
at work. Yeah, so and my boss only has Disney Plus, so I'm limited to what they have there. And I basically like looped everything that's Christmas related on there.
Mm.
At this point, right? Like we're halfway through the month. I already looped through all the major like Christmas movies on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
And I started watching everything in the Santa Claus franchise because it's like 3 movies and a 2-season show.
Yeah.
And unironically, I think it is crazy. What's crazier is I unironically have become a fan of the franchise.
Oh, that's sweet. Look at you. You're getting you're getting pumped full of the Christmas spirit, Cheesy.
I guess I mean I think of it more like getting full with like the lore of the show because it's weirdly consistent throughout like the whole franchise. It just doesn't like it doesn't contradict itself really. It's like it's weird how the fuck they have this franchise where Tim Allen is Santa Claus has no reason to be this consistent with the lore, but they're all like, no, we're gonna just stay consistent, right? And it really just blows. It really fucking just blows my mind. The fucking in the season 1 episode in the season 1 show, I mean in the first season they fucking answer like a lot of fucking like questions about like the first movie that people have point out all the time, but like they've never like brought up ever again. Have you guys ever seen the first Santa Claus movie?
Yeah.
The only Christmas movie I've ever watched is The Grinch.
Really?
I'm pretty
That's
sure that's
weird.
it. That's the only one I remember. If I've probably watched more, but I forget all of them. The only one I remember is the 2000 live action How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
You don't,
Which is good.
It
a lot
is
of people
good.
are afraid to admit that, but it's good.
I don't understand
thought
why. It's a great
it
movie.
was okay.
Jim Carrey
I-
did not fall off.
I
I
did.
think
I did like the part where he ate glass. That's my favorite part. He ate glass. Yes.
he ate glass and you're like, I want to eat glass.
No, that's true.
Like,
actually,
that looks
that's
delicious.
true. That is true. That's what I wanted to do.
and you tried it and your mouth started bleeding. You're like, oh, this is not as delicious as I thought.
I did not try it. Common sense. That is the only. People say I have no common sense, but that is the only common sense I have. Don't eat glass, kids. You can't eat it. That was actually just a special kind of candy they made. That they made it nice and clear for him to eat. But God, imagine if you fucking ate glass in front of everyone. You'd be such a fucking boss. People would be terrified
You'll
of
be
you.
such a fucking legend. Yeah, it's a power move. They're like, don't fuck with the kid who ate glass.
I would love to do that
Yes.
at my day job because it would just add so many layers to my workplace lore.
To your workplace law.
Like you're mysterious. What's that fucking I see this meme on TikTok where it's like when you worked at your job long enough that you get to unlock coworker lore.
Dude.
There's like another one where like you go to grab a snack at 3 a.m. and then you're presented with an unskippable older sister cutscene where she explains her lore. That sounds
That
about right.
is
I've done that
every
to my
interaction
brother.
with my sister.
I've done that with my
What
brother.
secret
But
is your sister hiding?
well, I don't know. There's a lot of things a sister might not tell you,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. So when sometimes I don't know, something about late at night that like it sets a certain mood, not like in a romantic or sexual way, but in kind of like a
Oh yeah, it
fucking
encourages
poetic.
a kind of like honesty and earnestness that like the light
Right,
of day
exactly.
kills.
It's like late. Yeah, exactly. It's late at night, and
It's
This
2
is
a.m.
all-
and everyone you know is now a Twin Peaks character.
right, exactly.
I should watch Twin
That's
Peaks.
kind of cool. Me too. I started watching I Am a Virgo finally.
Nice.
I am
we're,
a-
like,
love that
halfway
show.
through.
I
Yeah,
am
it
a
shows how good.
Virgo or I am a Virgo.
I am a Virgo. I'm pronouncing it wrong because I'm stupid.
Okay,
But,
I just need to understand what you were saying so I could Google it.
It's a pretty good show. No spoilers, but it's really it's about a kid who's a fucking giant, and his parents like keep him locked up in the house because they don't like want anyone to know about him. They're scared how the world's gonna treat him. But he does eventually like leave, and he learns about society, and then capitalism.
But is he a Virgo?
He is a Virgo.
Hey!
The one spoiler, yes, he is a Virgo.
Yeah, that's
That's all I need
that's
to
like
know.
his that's like the thing that's like the first thing he says to people, because he's like socially awkward because he's just been like held
Socially
up in his house the whole
isolated for his
time.
entire life. Yeah, how do you interact with
Right,
other
exact-
people? It's star
Right.
sign. He's my star sign.
And-
I'm a Virgo.
And the show is like it's like magical realism, so it's like
Oh, I love magical
and-
realism.
yeah, magical realism is great. And for people who aren't super aware of what magical realism is, it's not like fantasy specifically. It's more like fantastical things happen to kind of like focus on mundane things, Like the fantastical elements are used to like put a lens on the more mundane stuff,
Yes.
Right?
Like
So him
X-Men
being
could have been magical realism if it weren't for all of the superhero stuff.
X-Men is like too like literal. I feel okay. Like if there's like Harry Potter is just fantasy. It's not it's not magical realism, right? Like
Right.
the fact that they keep everything a secret because I don't fucking know why, but yeah, that's that whole element.
If you had like
That's
a
like-
story in like the Muggle world of Harry Potter, where magical things happen around a Muggle, and they just so happen to be thematically relevant to like the personal societal issues that they're experiencing, and you can't tell if it's real or if it's not. That would be magical realism. I think of Pan's Labyrinth when I think of magical realism, because I'm a
Pan's
drama
Labyrinth
kid.
is very. I feel like it's very open to interpretation.
As it should be. As it should
I
be.
think if I give an example of what, like, here's just a quick example of like what a magical realism story would be, and what I think it would be like a story about a guy who's like a salary man and his life sucks and it's like depressing and sad, but sometimes like a giant bird shows up to just eat people randomly, and that's just like normal.
Because
That's
what I
that's
thought
what
the
the
secret of,
workplace is like. That's what the workplace is like. The workplace is like being consumed by a giant bird that shows up and you can't control when it shows up.
Like
or
you still
don't know.
have to go to work. You still have to go to work anyway. And we have just lived with the giant bird, and it's really because the giant bird is a metaphor for something, right?
It's a
and
metaphor for
it-
capitalism. Obviously.
Yeah, capitalism, or like death, or like maybe like a ecological crisis. You could fit into
The social isolation everyone feels in modern society.
right, exactly, the fact that it picks off at well, see, there you go. It's like it's designed perfectly for you to kind of like interpret it. Fantasy would be more like there's lore about the bird, and it's like they have to like the bird is not necessarily natural, or we've been at war with the bird, right? In magical realism, the bird just like the bird is as normal as the sun or clouds in the sky. It's like part of it.
Magical realism is when the weird thing has no law. It just is.
They could be like implications of like I don't even. It's not necessary, but it's okay. You'll know it when you see it. Something like Encanto is not magical realism, even though it like advertises itself as.
It's fantasy. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's like too literal. It explains where the powers come from and everything, and I think that like.
the magic
in a
has
magical
law, and therefore it can't be magical realism.
I think the magic is like. Damn, I wish Cam was here, and then they could have over-explained this and then gone on 5 million tangents about it, but
But we would at least get a answer.
right, exactly. Anyway, I'm a Virgo is good. It's kind of
really
very
into
like
that.
it's kind
Really
of
into
like
Massive Virgo.
if you ever seen because the guy who created it, Boots Riley, also created Sorry to Bother You, and that one's really good. That one is also like a magical realism story. That's like his main thing,
Yeah.
I do love magical realism. I mean, I say that, but I love magical realism in like the drama kid way, where my drama teacher had us watch like a bunch of shit, and the only things I remember are like Pan's Labyrinth and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. But I know I watched other things, and I know I engaged with them well. I just like the idea. I just like metaphors. I love metaphors. I love Utna. That's
So-
the kind of guy I am.
I love metaphor, Morty. Morty.
Stupid
I love
question
metaphor.
If
for
a
two
story is too
movies.
literal, Morty, I simply cannot get into it. It needs to be metaphorical. It needs to be interpretation. I need to have idiots who simply do not understand it. That is why Fight Club
Actually,
is the best book in the world, Morty. I love to see
musicals
idiots who
are
don't
like-
understand that it's bad, Morty.
Musicals
Fight
are
bad.
kind of like magical realism by default because the whole like, and then people just start singing and everyone is choreographed perfectly and knows like the lines, you know.
Oh yeah, it's like
Right.
the kayfabe. It's like in a musical there has to be a certain level of like suspension of disbelief so for you to engage
Right.
in the art and like I get what you mean. And then people talk about their feelings, and the songs are not metaphors; they are literally just what everyone's feeling.
I'll say that in I Am a Virgo, there's a lot of like other kind of like fantastical things like it is not too much of a spoilers, but one of the bad guys is like imagine if like Todd McFarlane was like a fucking actual like superhero who was like super rich and was out there arresting black people.
I'm guessing
Right.
he's white.
Yeah, he is white. He's played by what's his name? I forget his name, but he was also in like Hateful Eight, and he's like, if you ever want someone to play like someone to play like a piece of shit like white person, this guy is who they always hire, and because he's really good at it. I bet he's like a sweet guy like in real life. I bet he's a real cool dude. But Walton Goggin is his fucking name. But he's like in a lot of things.
When
He's
he
also in,
retires, I hope they release all of his works and call it the Goggin Box.
The Goggin box. Damn, that'd be pretty
great.
great.
I
Oh,
need
he's
to
gonna
watch
be in the
more
fucking
movies.
Fallout show.
Oh wow.
There's gonna be a Fallout show.
Yeah, there's gonna be a Fallout show. He's gonna play a ghoul. Well, he already has like a ghoul face, so no offense. We need
I
more
love
like
ghouls, Charlie.
I love ghouls. We need more like
Charlie.
we need more like actors that look like ghouls. Like people, everyone just wants more Tom Hollands and Timothy Chalamines, but we need more white guys who are just like they look ghoulish. I
Yeah.
feel more goblin white guys, right? This guy and Steve Buscemi can't be the last two like not conventionally attractive like white guys left. We need more of them.
What you're saying is that what we need is white actors to embrace their nature as white people, to embrace the inner monster, you know?
Yeah, what's wrong with being white? I'm tired of everyone telling me there's something wrong with me for being fucking white. God fucking damn it. Oh shit. Speaking of white, you guys see the trailer for the American Society of Magical Negroes? Did you see that?
I did see
No.
the trailer for that. It's
No,
like
I
the
did
whole movie in the
not.
trailer.
Yeah, they did just explain the whole movie in the trailer, and it doesn't look good. It looks really like it looks so like yeah, a liberal fucking wrote this. I even like looked it up, and the guy who wrote it is like half white, half black.
Oh no.
It doesn't matter. He's very light skinned. That doesn't matter, but he's very light skinned.
I love how you say that. I love how I feel like I'm going to watch this and I'm gonna love it because it's gonna be like watching The Room, but I actually enjoy it. That's what it
There's,
sounds like.
Well,
Maybe.
in the trailer, the main character is the guy who played the main character in Detective Pikachu. That one black kid.
Damn.
He was also a wizard guy in that Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh well, he technically plays a magic guy again in this movie because so it turns out there's a secret society of magical black people, right? And you know what their job? You know what they do with their magic?
Nothing.
You know what they fucking do with it?
Nothing.
They do it to make white people comfortable.
Oh my fucking god.
I'm
They're
not-
slaves!
I'm not fucking with you.
They're magical! They're black magical slaves! They're slaves! They're magic slaves!
Well, the implication is that they're more like omnipotent beings that treat white people like pets. So it's kind of a weird angle
Well, it's
from every
no, it's not
direction.
that they're pet. Like and then the trailer, they literally say like a guy's like, "What's the most dangerous animal in the world?" And the guy's like, "A shark." Like, no, white people. So we use our magic to like de-escalate situations where white people might get mad at us and call the cops or try to fucking kill us or something. And it's like, really? Like,
Are they
God,
comparing white people to like spoiled children?
low key, yeah. And
That's
it's
not
like,
fair.
look,
White people are grown-ass adults. They can think. I know it doesn't seem like it, Cheesy. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I've met white people in real life, and I know that not all of them are giant toddlers. Some of them are, but not all of them. Not all of them, Cheesy, I swear.
Okay, well, I'm going to believe you, since you seem to be the white person expert in this room. I'm going to believe you.
It's because I'm fucking a white person. It's because I'm fucking a white person.
Yeah, I'm fucking a white person, too, you know. I know. I've been in the trenches. But it's like, okay, so the implication is that, yeah, so they use their magic to just de-escalate. And it reminds me of this one quote. I forget who said this quote, but it was reference to the Twilight series, where someone said, I knew that Twilight was written by a white person because, like, indigenous people had superpowers, but they still lost against white people, right? And it's like, yeah, these black people have magical powers, but they're still in the service of white people, and it's like, what?
They would never. They would any human with power would never use it to be subservient to someone else. That's why.
Right,
that's how I know Jesus is a lie. If Jesus is real, he would have done more than fuck up one church. He would have kicked everyone in the nuts.
Right, exactly. So
he would have started an uprising that would have upended the Roman Empire.
If Jesus was real, we wouldn't need a communist revolution because we'd already be living in ultimate paradise, because Jesus would be a guy with empathy and he'd kick the shit out of everyone without it until they fucking got good.
Every man, woman, and child would grow up to be a carpenter just like him.
Yes.
I was thinking about how like characters like Thor in like Marvel comics, like, oh, these back in the day, like way back in the day, these guys were actual like religious figures, right? It makes me think like, how would you like reinterpret Jesus to be like a Marvel superhero?
Ooh.
Right, someone should do that. I might do that. Where he comes back, because like Thor in the comics, his major, like, the thing that mostly Thor does is that he fights space aliens.
Yeah.
Right, so it's like, okay, Jesus comes back and he's mostly fighting aliens. Would be like my comic.
I mean, I think my comic would be that like Jesus is upset with his dad because his dad keeps putting off like saving all the people who need saving, and Jesus is just looking at all these people suffering, and he's like, oh, they're still suffering no matter what, like it's not getting better. He's like, you gotta fix this, and his dad's like, no, and then Jesus comes like Jesus like such a pain that God sends him back to Earth again, and he's like, well, you go fix it, and Jesus is like, maybe I will, and it's less like a Western comic and more like a fucking one of those shitty isekais where they're mad at the god and so they do their best, and it's like, but instead it's they're even edgier. Jesus is mad at his dad.
I think what I was thinking is that like Jesus comes back and people have a perception of God, but then he says like, I never said the Old Testament was true. So it's like, yeah, Jesus never said the shit that happened in the Old Testament was like real, right? So that like puts everything on its fucking head, and it's like, oh, then do we even really know God? Or was that just millions of years of different interpretations?
Oh, that would actually be interesting. Like maybe because of his origins, Jesus knows the like matrix code to the universe. So he could be going around looking at like cancer cures and saying this mathematic equation is all wrong.
I think Jesus' powers should be that it should be something like it should be some sort of fucking Jujutsu Kaisen shit, magical abilities where when he hurts himself, that could affect people, you know, somehow, or he has to fix like people's problems in like weird ways, and there's also space aliens. Space aliens are trying to kill him.
I think he just wants space aliens, Cheesy. That just sounds like you like space aliens.
See, the problem is Jesus doesn't have no iconic weapon. Like, it's cool to see Thor with his hammer fight space aliens. That's cool as fuck.
That's because Jesus isn't a fighter. He's just a guy. That's
he's a lover.
He's literally a lover. He will, you can murder him, you can sell him out for 20 gold, and he'll still give you a little smooch, you know?
I think,
that's his superpower. He has his 12 simps.
He has,
he's got a harem, and he's a really nice guy, and that's his superpower.
No, he's a healer. He's a healer, and he's part of a group of guys, right? And,
And all
Their
those guys were
powers are good.
shitheads. Because that's the thing that Jesus did, is he took all the crooks and the criminals. So clearly, what Jesus' power is that he has an enemy, and he, like, helps, he gives them therapy. He heals their soul, and then they sit for
just
him.
make him Steven. Just make him fucking Steven Universe.
Yes! Yes. Literally,
So
Steven from Steven Universe.
It would be it would be like that one meme where it's like this guy has no enemies, and it's like everyone who tries to hurt him, he's like dodging their blow and like kissing them or like patting their head and like
It'll be
doing
okay.
that.
It'll be okay. They're like, Jesus, how could you say that after everything I've done?
It'd be okay. It's all fine, and
Big traumatic
he'll be like
moment.
he'll be like a super therapist and whatnot, you know.
A magical therapist.
Right, exactly. And yeah, he has his own team of guys and whatnot, right? His disciples and whatnot.
That actually
see,
would
boom,
be
there
pretty
you go.
interesting, because you could like increase the severity of the things wrong with each new guy. And it's like, well, how is Jesus going to fix this guy? He's like literally a serial killer.
Right, exactly. You know, it kind of reminds me of like, I remember Osamu Tezuka made like a biography of the Buddha,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's 100% historically accurate because there's a lot of like magical stuff that happens in there, and like a demon shows up later in the book, right?
Yeah.
But what's interesting is I remember there was a scene where like there's like a serial killer that was trying to kill Buddha, but then he falls in like he falls like in a cavern, and he's like slowly like dying down there, and they're gonna try to like rescue him, but the Buddha can't do much to rescue him, so he just lays there talking to him while he's in there, so he doesn't feel alone. And he talks about like kind of like letting earthly desires go and whatnot, and the serial killer is saying like, oh, he's gonna go to like damnation, he's gonna go to hell and whatnot, and the Buddha has asked him, has he ever like done one good deed ever in his life, and he says no, and he's like, are you sure? And he says like, well, one time I killed the family, but I let the baby live. And then the Buddha recontextualizes that as like, well, by letting that one baby live, you let this whole like line of their family keep living, and their descendants are gonna have more descendants, and then more descendants are gonna come out of that. So by letting that life live, you have allowed like a lot more people to live, and you know, you might have taken their family, but it's in a weird way they're owed to you, and that's like the one good deed you ever. And then he like dies at peace, and I'm like, oh wow, that like fucking oof, that like went over me, and I'm like, that's wild, that's crazy. I'm pretty sure I butchered exactly what he fucking says in that moment, but that's just kind of like the idea, right?
Yeah, it's the general gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what he said either.
Oh, you read the Buddha?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it's
I've read
pretty
all
good.
of the Tezuka classics. There's just one that I haven't read that I can't remember the name of.
I never and I don't think I read any of the stuff he like left unfinished. I remember he was working on that Beethoven manga right before he died.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. C2wol, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here.
All right, cool.
I'm here.
Cool. Anyway, what are we talking about? Anyway, the American Society of Magical Negroes. Something that like, so the movie is like a rom-com, right?
Okay.
Because okay, so he's like helping, like, you know, he's helping white people not get pissed off at black people using his magic, but then he like he finds a girl that he likes, and the girl seems to like him, and it's a white girl too, by the way. And right, exactly. And
this isn't
and
gonna
the thing
end
is that
well.
he's like helping out this one white guy, but the white guy thinks that like he's setting him up with that other white girl, and he's like, oh no, I don't want to let that happen because I want to date this white girl. And by the way, this American Society of Magical Black People, like, it's run by other black people, and they say like, no, you can't date this white woman, because like if you go out of the way or something, that's gonna destroy all of our magic. And it's like, what the fuck is this fucking movie?
It's
What the
very
fuck?
strange.
It serve the white. We must serve the white man. We must serve them. We
Yeah,
must.
it just
That's the
it
vibe I'm getting. The vibe I'm getting is that we must serve the white man.
Are you using your magical powers for personal gain? Don't do
uh
that.
Julian, how many white people have you helped so far today? Did you do your daily white people servitude hours today?
I did actually. I looked my optometrist in the eyes and she smiled. And I held the door open for a lady and she was like, wow. Like,
Wow.
she was really annoying about it.
I'm like, whoa, ooh, whoa, chivalry's not that. Is that what she said?
Probably.
Oh my god. Yeah, and it's so crazy because like, okay, so it's like they're trying to do like a satire on the like magical Negro trope, which is like in movies there'll be like a white guy or white person who has a problem, then like a black person who seems to have magical power shows up and helps them fix the problem, right? And it's this weird kind of very liberal ass trope where it's like, oh, like, hey, I'm giving black people representation, but they're into servitude to help white people, you know? So it's really like, I can see someone using it to be well-meaning, but it's still kind of like, does a black person have to be in servitude of a white person in
Why
this fucking story?
can't the black person just be magicking out for themselves?
Right, exactly. And the thing is that this trope is mostly used by white writers. Like, it's mostly white writers reinforcing this trope. And it doesn't make any sense that in this like magical society you have black people enforcing it. That doesn't fucking make any sense, right?
Well, if white
expect
people
that
were enforcing it, they'd have to if white people were enforcing it, they'd have to like come to terms with the fact that like they as a white writer and white artist are in fact forcing these black characters to continue to be in magical servitude for the fucking best interests of white people. They'd have to think about that a little.
You could do that though. There's a way to do that instead of like it being a society. What I think should have happened was that this black guy it's like an agency and they hire black people and they're all like, oh, we notice you're a good person. We're gonna give you these magical powers and you're gonna go around helping people, right? And they just say people, and he's like, all right, and they give him assignments. But the weird thing is that he keeps just only helping white people. Actually, it seems like the only people they help with their magical powers is white people. And he tries to bring that up to like his boss. Like, I noticed we only help like white people. What's up with that? And they're all like, what? Oh, no way. What?
That's
right?
wild. That's crazy.
That's crazy. And it's like this arrogance, you know, because in their head they think that like, oh, we're giving black people magic, you know, that's helping them. But they're just using it, but at the same time they're just making them help white people. And maybe the movie could have been he tries to help black people with it, and they tell them that like, ooh, no, you're going out of order. Like, there's like a certain way you have to do this, and if you keep doing that, we're gonna take away your powers, right? And yeah, and see that's like more kind of like subtle. I get it if you want to do like oh, black people have this magic and they use it, you know, to have secret super cool adventures, right? You should have just fucking done that instead of like, oh, actually use it to help white people. Damn, that was lame. That was a lame term. I would have no problem with like Black Harry Potter or like Black Jujutsu Kaisen, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
people do it on YouTube all the time. I don't click on them, but you know, the inspiration is there.
I assume people like it, right? That shit's always popular, right?
Yeah.
When it's like black people like reenacting Naruto, yeah, that people love that shit, right?
Whoa,
just do
it's
that.
Deku from My Boku no Hero, but he's black. That's crazy.
Right, you don't even need to. You could do satire, but like it's just, God, it looks lame, and the trailer the trailer got fucking ratioed to hell. Everyone's all like, oh, so they're just using it to help white people? Nah, not interested, right? and some people are kind of like, oh, they're trying to do this commentary on this trope. But here's the thing: the general public, is not even aware of tropes. Like, they don't even know the shit exists.
They don't obsessively look at TV tropes.
Yeah, they don't watch fucking.
Most people don't.
Yeah, they don't watch fucking video essays. They don't go to fucking, what's it called, the TV tropes or whatnot. You know, they don't care about that shit.
Only online freaks care. Online freaks like you and
yeah, they might be aware of like reoccurring things in movies that they like, but they'll never be like able to like truly pinpoint like what exactly is the reoccurring thing they like about it, you know. But that doesn't matter. They're just like consuming shit, you know. So when you do like when the title is like, you're obviously like doing this thing. I mean, sometimes if you're gonna do the satire, you gotta be more like kind of blunt with it. Like Scream, they literally tell you about the slasher movie cliches, right, in the movie, you know.
So make sure you get it. Make sure you get it. You can do it, audience. I believe in you. You can figure it out. You're a big kid.
Yeah, it's just like, damn, everyone wants to be fucking Jordan Peele, but everyone's too fucking stupid, you know. Everyone's a fucking idiot, you know. So anyway, watch I Am a Virgo. It's like way more nuanced and subtle and more intersectional about like topics like this, you know.
I mean, you had me at he is actually a Virgo.
Yeah, he's a Virgo. He's an awkward.
Is that guy actually a Virgo? I gotta see this.
Not to say too much spoilers, but like in the show, there's other people with like superpowers too, right? Like him being a huge is basically like a superpower he has. He's just huge.
Yeah.
But the way
superpower, big dick energy.
But the way that the show presents it, it's like, this is more like a disability, really, right? Like that, and that's just a reoccurring thing that happens in the show, and I think it's very interesting.
I can see that because it's like, how do you, as a literal larger person, navigate a world simply not built to accommodate your size? It's like little people, but make them big. Literally, that's what it is.
There's a lot of moments like that where they like, you know, talk about that, and they do a lot of like, you see it visually. They don't explain. They don't have to explain it to you like how tough it is. Like you just see it. Like his clothes are like patchwork together of other shirts, right? There's no shirts in his side, so they have to stitch up other shirts to make one giant shirt, right? And the same with his pants, the same with his underwear and his shoes, right? And I'm
surprised they wouldn't just make him wear skirts. like as someone who sews, I'm thinking of this like as like someone who sews, right? It's not too hard to make.
People
like,
are gonna they're gonna look up his skirt and see his nuts and shit, you know.
Well,
it'd be easier because he's huge.
Problem. That's a them problem, okay?
His
parents don't let him out anyway.
I think you just want to see
with a big skirt.
I think you just want to see a giant man's nuts. I think that's what you want to see, C2wol. I think
I didn't say that I didn't want to see that. I'm just saying that, like, from where I'm standing, right? You have a person who's really big. There are no clothes that can fit them. So what you do is you take massive sheets. You like basically make like you sew the side seams up and sew some shoulder seams, so he has basically like a fucking wife beater. And then you get a giant sheet and you wrap it around his waist, and that's a skirt. And that's it. That's clothes. He's covered. He doesn't need anything else.
I think that is a scene in the show.
Yeah.
When he's modeling.
Yeah, I think you just gotta watch the show, C2wol. I got like 3 episodes left. There's only 7 episodes in the show. And it's pretty
I hope there's more, because they set up a bunch of stuff that does not pay off in the last episode.
Okay, thanks for spoiling it, Julian.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry.
Spoilers.
I haven't fucking...
Spoilers, you're gonna walk away from the show mildly dissatisfied, wanting more. Oh, what a crime.
Oh no, it's still very satisfying. Like, I would be fine if they didn't make more, but I'm also like, Amazon, make more.
Listen here, Jeffrey Bezos.
Yeah,
Listen here,
hopefully.
Jeffrey Bezos.
He, because I see Boots Riley on Twitter. It doesn't really... I don't know if he said anything about there being a season 2. I wouldn't be surprised, though. I mean, I'll watch anything that guy makes. So he's been very consistent in his quality.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm good. I'm good with that. Anyway, what are y'all up to? What have y'all been up to recently?
I read and watched anime. I read a manga and watched an anime. I haven't watched an anime in ages. It was good. It's good to watch anime again.
What show was it?
What anime? What fucking, yeah.
Hold on. I think
it's always interesting to hear people are taking breaks
I watched
from
this anime.
because
What
a lot
anime?
of it is bad.
It's because I have
Until
trouble
they say,
pronouncing
it's good
it.
again.
It's
and then
the
they say, oh, it's good? what did you watch? And it's like, I watched Milky Holmes. It's like, no, that's not good. Stop.
I watched the Apothecary Diaries. I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce Apothecary. Apothecary.
Apothecary? Apocryphy? Oh man, I'm getting it.
Apothecary. I don't see.
Apothecary Diaries.
Yeah, I read the manga and then I watched the anime. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good show. I'm having a good time with it.
That's good. That's good that you're having a good time with it.
It's about a girl and she lives in like feudal China and she was sold.
Julian, what are you listening to in the background? It's getting picked up.
I'm sorry. I was looking up the way to pronounce apothecary.
Oh, good work. That's an important skill none of us have. She gets kidnapped and sold into service at the palace as one of the serving ladies. She lived in the pleasure district. She knows the fancy fucking prostitute ladies. She ends up becoming a fucking poison taster, and her dad was like a doctor, so she's an apothecary. She's a chemist. She's an old-timey chemist. She can make shit. She does stuff. She's cool. Her name's like Mau Mau. She has lots of like as like to show her displeasure and anger. They give her little cat ears. There's the fancy rich guy who's into her. But apparently he's like, nuded, so that's funny.
Damn.
Bitches, men and women do be wanting to fuck him, and she'd be like, ew, gross, get this creep away from me. I hate it.
Ew,
it's fun.
Gross.
She heard someone say, oh, that guy, he's a eunuch. And she's like, I don't know what that means, but that sounds bad.
She knows what eunuch means. She's just like, he's a pain in the ass, and I don't want to be around him, and he keeps trying to get to my attention, and I don't like it. He's like, she's a tsundere, and he's into that, and that's their relationship.
Oh wow, that's so epic! I love it. It sounds all right.
Yeah, it's got like a mystery. It's got like kind of a mystery vibe where she solves problems and slowly gets herself into trouble, but also she's like kind of technically enslaved. And yeah, that kind of shit.
Kind of technically enslaved? Alright.
It's very well directed. Like, you ever watch a cartoon and you realize, hang on, there are no shadows in this cartoon. Well, this show has shadows. That's one thing I remember picking up on. It's like, oh, everything is well directed. They put the shadows in.
It's that one meme where it's like the cartoon when it becomes a movie and it's like Peter Griffin with shadow.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Right? Yeah. Disgusting.
It's like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And also, I read Oshinoko a while back because I read My Arika, and people were like, oh, My Arika, that's like Oshinoko, and only 4 chapters of My Arika in English. So I'm like, I guess I'll read Oshinoko. And I read Oshinoko, and I'm like, the basic premise is the same, but the Oshinoko is where 2 otaku get reborn as an idol's child, and then their mum gets killed, their idol mum gets killed, and then they go fucking insane. And you know what? The anime's pretty good. The opening for Oshinoko fucking slaps. That's good. That's fantastic, actually. It's worth it for the opening alone, in my opinion. In my personal, subjective opinion.
I gotcha.
Watch the OP to Oshinoko. It slaps. Watch the rest of it if you like
Watch
it.
Watch it, guys. Oshinoko.
That's your adult homework this week, courtesy of the main character syndrome.
We will be talking about this anime next episode. If you don't want to get lost, please watch it. Please watch it. Okay,
the first
I'm 100%
episode is like an
serious.
hour and a half long.
Oh, I ain't watching that shit.
Yeah, okay, My Arika is a manga where it's like, an idol gets killed, and the person she knew from her old life becomes an idol to look into it. And that is also, like, kind of the plot of Oshinoko, where the main male character is like, fucking, my idol mom died, and now I have to find the killer. But fucking Oshinoko has, like, a huge, like, a big chunk of time that's just, I get reborn as a baby with my twin sister who's also a fan of my mom. We do baby things. Mom's not getting work, so I be a creepy kid in the movie to get her more work. Mom's getting, like, there's a whole bunch of shit beforehand where it just establishes their, like, actual, instead of having a parasocial relationship with their mother, they have an actual social relationship. It's a lot of build-up. Oshinoko is a lot slower than my Arika.
Damn.
Also, in my
Is that
Arika, I couldn't read it. I couldn't read it because it was in Japanese, but it's pretty clear that one of the girls who's, like, trying to become an idol starts, like, posting tit pics to get more attention. It has a lot of baggage around it. And I can't wait to actually read what she's saying, because it's gonna be some good drama. It's gonna be juicy.
I didn't even know Idol did
Imagine
that.
reading it and a panel just says, I have to get sluttier.
Literally, the visual direction is like, she shows pictures where, like, she's showing a little cleavage, then she's in bikini shots, then she's in, like, at the back of the set after practice, literally pulling her shirt down to take a picture to get more attention so she can join this idol group. And in the background behind her, the main character is, like, working really hard to put on a great performance, and she thinks about how when she was a child that she purely wanted to put on a good performance and shine, and then she cries, and I'm like, I want to read that. I want to read this girl's self-loathing. I love it when women hate themselves because society makes them sexualize themselves. I love it. I fucking love it.
I love when women hate themselves. I love it. That's why you go to bars and you, like, insult them and you hit on them, right? You just love it.
I neg them into desiring my attention and my approval. But I need these girls with daddy issues to help reinforce my masculinity, okay? I'm not a real man unless I can make a woman to feel like shit about herself.
You ever seen the show Shivering Truth?
No,
I have seen that show.
It's a really good show. I remember there was an episode that opens up with, like, the show is very surreal, and it's very, like, there's like a weird kind of, like, conscience. It's like a weird kind of, like, line of I forgot what the phrase is called. It's like a stream of consciousness kind of show where, like, scenes just go into each other and it doesn't make too much sense. But I'm pretty sure if I watch the show, like, over and over again, it's gonna start making more and more sense to me, right?
It's like a Vsauce video, but it's not pretending to teach you something.
Right, exactly. But I would never have said that, Julian, but I'm just gonna trust you. I would never fucking come to that point. But there's an episode that opens up with kind of like it's like a slow zoom in on a house. We don't see who's in it, but we see someone here get a call. Like, they're like, 911, I need help. What's your emergency? A man just broke into my house and he's making my wife fall in love with him. Like, please be more specific. They have common interests and little quirks that is strengthening their bond. And he just goes over the, like, how they're slowly falling in love, and they're like, please, sir, calm down. All right, now you're gonna do exactly what I tell you. It's like, okay. First of all, you're gonna ignore her. What? You're gonna ignore your wife right now. Okay, show her that you're not giving her any affection. Oh, okay. It seems to be working. She seems to be wanting my desire more again.
Oh my god.
It's a fucking crazy ass show, and I'm like,
that sounds hilarious.
I want to fucking, one of these days, I'm going to do something. I'm going to make something at that level that is that fucking crazy. It's a fucking amazing show. It's made by the same people who did Xavier Renegade Angel. And Wonder Shows. And Xavier Renegade Angel is a really good ass show too. That one you have to, like, rewatch constantly to fully get, because it's like a mile a minute with all, like, the wordplay the show does and all the little fucking jokes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's great. It's awesome. Anyway, back to the American Society of Magical Negro. Oh god. Nah, I'm good. Back to my job, which I mostly fucking do now.
Yeah.
So we ran out of, like, Christmas movies, so I just started playing, like, MCU movies, and I'm like, they have the whole franchise there, might as fuck it. I'm like a Marvel fan in denial, you know? Like, I don't watch the movies anymore, but I have to know exactly what's going on in the universe currently, you know?
Big mood.
It's a curse, really. It's a big curse, and it all stems from when I was a kid, and I checked out from the library the Marvel Encyclopedia, and I'm like, ooh, I'm super aware of all these characters now, and I just had this need to always be aware of what the characters are up to currently in canon and whatnot. You know, even though I don't really consume it, I just need to know, right? So I've been rewatching it. So I've just been doing it by release date, you know, like chronologically release date. And I started with Iron Man, and the first Iron Man movie is still like fucking good. Like, I was surprised how good it holds up. I was just so used to like how milquetoast a lot of the movies are now, but that one feels like a movie, you know.
I mean, they have to, like, because back then they didn't have a franchise to, like,
back then they had to make
people.
movies.
Yeah, they had to make movies, and they had to make the movies good enough for people to come in, you know. Because, like, before the MCU, wasn't Iron Man, like, mid-tier Marvel
Yeah, he was like a
hero?
C-lister. Like,
yeah, he wasn't Spider-Man, and so they were fine to, like, hand him off to someone.
Right, exactly. And yeah, it's just so, yeah, it's crazy. That really kind of just solidified. There's so much that movie like does. I think it does a good job. And then I watched Iron Man 2, which was worse than I remember. Right? Like, oh wow, this is not good. Right? It just had too much stuff going on. I did watch videos like behind the scenes of what happened, and there's like just there was million problems with the movie. Like, they weren't even exactly sure they were going to really do the whole, like, larger universe thing, you know? And they originally wanted to do Iron Man 2 after the first Avengers. But they really wanted to, like...
mistake.
You think so? I think it would have done well if it was right after the first Avengers movie. You know? Because,
maybe.
I mean, it would have been a while. Because I think that first Iron Man came out in 2008, and the Avengers came out in 2012, I think, you know?
Right.
And I think that would have given them, like, enough time, because, what was his name? Fucking Jon Favreau, like, he was really, like, he wanted to have this whole trilogy, and he wanted to, like, make Iron Man 2 darker, because, like, The Dark Knight came out at the same time the first Iron Man came out. They're all like, oh, we need to get darker. We need to...
We need to make it Batman.
And what's funny is that they wanted to do the demon in the bottle storyline.
Yeah, they make it really obvious, but it doesn't really fully track.
There's a couple of things that that like was preventing them from fully like indulging like that storyline, because that whole story is about like Tony Stark fighting alcoholism. That's the villain in that like arc, right?
That'd be great. I love when people turn into their worst selves. I love it.
Right, exactly. But the people on Marvel were kind of like, okay, but we still want to sell merch of the characters, so I don't know if kids want to like see Tony Stark being an alcoholic. You know what? I think kids would have eaten it up. I don't give a fuck. I don't think. Because I remember...
It would be relatable. You watch your dad get drunk, beat your mum enough times, it's like, oh shit, Tony Stark does that too!
Oh my god, he's like smacking Pepper. Right? He like backhands her with the Iron Man suit. That would kill her. Like, oh, oops.
That's
sorry,
just like
Pepper.
my mommy and daddy. That's just like my mommy and daddy.
I'm sorry, Pepper. I just become a different guy when I'm in the suit. And it's just, can't fucking help it. I'm gonna change, I swear. So yeah, they didn't want to like, they didn't want that the guy they're making merch of to be an alcoholic. And also, Robert Downey Jr., his wife was like executive producer, right? And and she was opposed to it because like Robert Downey Jr. has a history of relapsing, and he's been to rehab like 3 times. He was even like in prison for a while, right?
I mean, that's a fair reason. That's a fair reason for, you know,
yeah.
Like, the actor might actually be, you know, he has problems. He has problems.
I feel like they didn't have to do Demon in the Bottle. I think it was fine. I think what was really shitty was that because the villain in that movie is like Whiplash, and he's played by Mickey Rourke, and he when he watched the movie at the premiere, he was like, wait, where's all the scenes I recorded? Because apparently there was a lot more shit he recorded that fully like develops his character, and it was like not in the movie. So if you watch the movie, that character comes off as a big fucking idiot because there's all these like things he does that are so like, okay, why the fuck did he do this? Why the fuck did he do that? He's just like
Yeah.
being stupid, right? And it fucking sucks that he got like shafted like that, you know. And I think they just wanted to, because I think they just wanted the villain to be a big dumb bad guy, right? And I think it was like a lot of, I think the Marvel movies try really hard not to make you like the villain, because if you start liking the villain, that means people are going to start demanding for that villain to come back, which is another actor they have to pay to come back, right?
Huh?
Yeah, because they already they already like struggle to come like to get Robert Downey Jr. back. They fucked up with like the character of James Rhodes, who's War Machine. Like he got replaced in Iron Man 2. Terrence Howard, right? He got replaced with Don Cheadle, and
I think I like Don Cheadle more anyway.
they
No offense to that other guy.
they originally wanted Don Cheadle for that role, but he was like busy, so they got Terrence Howard, and Terrence Howard is the reason they got Robert Downey Jr. too, because Terrence Howard was like the first actor hired for like the first Iron Man movie, and they were like debating on getting Robert Downey Jr. because they're like, oh, he has like a shitty history, like I don't know if people are gonna want to see him, and Terrence Howard was kind of like, no, get him to play Tony Stark, he's gonna be great at it, cut my pay, like reduce my pay so you could hire him, right?
I take back everything I said about Terrence Howard.
Yeah, so he went out of his limb to like get Robert Downey Jr. on the fucking set, you know, and you know how fucking Robert Downey Jr. repaid him, like they were gonna like Terrence Howard wanted more money, and so did Robert Downey Jr. They both wanted more money because the first movie did so well, and they were gonna come back. They were gonna like, you know, they wanted more, right? And like they dropped Terrence Howard, and because like he was asking for more money and he was just like a side character in the grand scheme of things, so he asked, like he tried to get Robert Downey to like also like hey man, like dude, can you have my back in this moment, because I really need it, you know, like, and Robert Downey Jr. just left him on red, like he just ghosted him, and he didn't talk to him until he didn't speak to him for 2 years after that. Right,
that's pretty, that fucking,
that's fucked up.
That is fucked up after like he helped him get the role in the first place.
Yeah,
Like
so
that probably fixed his career. That guy was in stuff like Shaggy Dog before Iron Man.
he was in what's it called, I think the movie called Smoking Aces. He was in a lot of shit that just didn't like do well, right?
yeah, no, that really, Iron Man probably really saved his career, and that,
After Iron Man, he had The Soloist and Due Date.
Oh yeah, Due Date.
Those Sherlock Holmes movies, I love those.
all classic movies. Yeah. But
hearing an artist get fucked by another artist always really hurts.
Right, exactly. But Iron Man 2 had like so many problems. They only had 2 years to make it, and they really only had like maybe 18 months to make it. Because there was like so much back and forth with Jon Favreau about like getting paid more for the sequel and how much the studio was willing to give. In retrospect, like I think you got to see everything with like being aware of hindsight, because it's so easy to like look back on the MCU and be like, oh, why didn't they just fully plan it out and everything, right? And it's like, well, that's literally impossible to do.
Yeah,
because
you can't know that they didn't know the franchise was gonna kick off, you know.
Because a bigger company is always gonna want to pay an actor or people as least as possible, you know, to keep it at a number. Yeah, exactly. So like, you know, they have to think about, oh, who's the fuck is gonna come back for this? Who's gonna come back for that? You know, Samuel L. Jackson didn't even know if he was gonna come back for Iron Man 2. Even though he had that whole cameo at the end, he didn't know he was going to come back, right? So it's all these like millions of things, and I'm like, there's probably no proper way to fucking like plan this all out. And this, I don't even know how you could like, what would be the best way to like go about this without there being like a major reshifting of Hollywood itself, you know?
Yeah.
Simply revolutionize Hollywood. That's the solution.
Right, exactly. Or just make it different, you know?
Listen,
Right.
Hollywood, stop. You're making art. Clearly, what we need to go back. We need to go back when fucking rich old guys commissioned people they commissioned Michelangelo to paint his boyfriend as Jesus. That's what we need again. We need the people to put our tax money towards fucking getting one guy to play the same guy forever, and live, laugh, loving it. Oh, fuck. Wait. Question: how do you guys feel about Doctor Who?
I like
he
it.
exists. I mean, if you guys want to, what about Doctor Who? I know he's
new
black now,
Doctor.
right?
Yes, he's actually real sweetie. He's a real sweetie. He's a real sweetie. He's great. I love him. I love him as the Doctor. It's fantastic.
Did the new episode start already? I didn't know.
Yeah, there was like the David Tennant specials between I think it was the late. I dropped Doctor Who with fucking the old guy whose name I can't remember.
Peter Capaldi? You didn't finish
Yeah.
that?
I didn't start. I got to Capaldi, and
Oh,
I
shit.
was at that point. I was kind of burnt out on like all the shit that'd been going on before, you know.
Yeah, the
Like all
Matt
that.
Smith stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just gonna drop. And then Babe was like, "Oh, David Tennant's coming back for a special, and he's bringing Donna with him," and I'm like, "Yes, love Donna." One of my
I guess they
favorite
recognized that Matt Smith was the dropping off point for a lot of people because everyone I know has been saying, "Oh boy, 10 and Donna, we are so back." And I'm like, what are you talking about? We've been back. Did you not watch the Peter Capaldi episodes? And everyone says no.
I think the thing is right. The thing is, wasn't Matt Smith with the guy who made fucking Sherlock? That guy, wasn't he writing?
Oh,
Doctor
that
Who?
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the showrunner for all of that garbage. And then after
Yeah.
Capaldi ended, they were like, okay, you're out of here. You're too problematic.
Yeah,
Damn.
literally. I think he was really the Doctor Who writing got really like messy. And
It's a lot of mystery box nonsense, but the guest
Yes.
writer stuff is always peak.
Yeah, because it's like it's one episode. It's one episode.
Yeah.
He just needs to do one episode. You give him one episode, he's fine. You give him an entire series, get the fuck out. No, he's not allowed to have that. That's wrong.
They kind of
But yeah.
lampshaded that in the Star Beast episode when at the end he says, "I'm gonna tell the boss," and then the doctor's like, "Oh, that's cryptic. I don't like that."
Yeah. Oh, but it's like the specials were great. Tennant was great. Donna was great. Donna sang fucking. Oh god, I forgot his Neil Patrick Harris playing the fucking the toy.
That
the
was
toy
interesting.
That was good. I liked. It sounds like because I haven't been watching Doctor Who since Capaldi started, right? So hearing like, oh, the Doctor lost all these companions in a traumatic way, but they're kind of existentially okay, so everything's fine. But it's not
Yeah.
fine. It's not fine. And basically, they're the bi-generation shit of basically letting the Doctor come back baggage-free, having worked through all this. It's good. It's a good idea. It's a good plot device. I like it. I will admit, I did like Amy Pond. I did like Amy and Rory as companions with the Matt Smith stuff. I love them. But
Yeah.
then shit got really messy and dumb, in my opinion.
Like when he spent an entire season like obsessing over a girl he didn't know.
Yeah. It's like, it was very funny. It was very funny that Donna's daughter is named Rose. I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah, they don't bring back Rose in those episodes. I thought that would have been a thing.
No, Donna's daughter just picked the name Rose. It's great.
Hell yeah.
Looking forward to the new episodes, consequence free.
Yeah, it's a
I
soft
sure hope the
reboot.
silence don't come back.
Fucking. I like it. Fucking. They've got goblins. They got goblins coming up. They got the Goblin King, but it's not David Bowie. That's my only complaint, is that it's not David Bowie, and they couldn't get David Bowie.
I wonder why they couldn't get David Bowie.
Because he's dead.
It could have been peak, but necromancy is illegal now.
Yeah.
Oh damn, he died. Oh fuck, damn.
Yeah.
But why? Okay, but why is
You
he
didn't
on
know that?
Doctor Who though? I'm fucking with you. I know he's fucking dead.
Okay.
I know he's dead. I'm aware.
You were there when he died.
I was the man behind the slaughter. Oh my god! I fucking when I think every
His
time I think
final
about, you're
last
reminded-
words, cheesy. Investigators still don't know what that means.
Oh, what does this mean by this? He fucking he was supposed to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Then he died. So that didn't happen.
They told him this is the role, and he said, "Nope, I'm not sticking around for that."
He's like, I
Yeah.
don't like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm more of a Thor kind of guy.
Oh god.
Damn.
Yeah, they
you
have a stupid goblin song in the new. Like, I've seen the trailers. There's a stupid Goblin King song. The goblins are gonna gobble up a baby. It's funny. It's stupid and funny, and I love it.
That's the stuff that's really fun about it, the
baby.
pulpiness of it all.
Yes.
You said goblin, and that reminded me of something, but I just forgot what it was.
Goblin these nuts. Got him?
Got him. Oh my god. I was thinking about making one of the meme chart, kind of like the Drake one, you know, where he's shooing something away and then he's pointing at something that he likes it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was thinking for the part where he's shooing something away, it's kind of like watching like a bad movie, and then like him pointing at something, it's like watching a bad movie that inspires you to like make rewrites of how it could be better.
Yeah.
It's true.
You know, because like you ever get that feeling when you like watch a bad movie and you're like, that sucks, but I know how they could have fixed it.
Oh,
You know?
all the time.
Yeah.
I watch
And
so much crap while I'm at work.
What's funny is because I was thinking about how like there's some bad movies that I do watch and I have no ideas of how to improve it, because like it wasn't even like, that doesn't happen for bad movies. That happens for movies that are just whatever, that are just fine, right?
Right.
If a movie's just fine, if it's not doing anything interesting, and it just like it got its story across without like doing anything impressive, I'm like, all right, well, whatever. Like, I'm not inspired to think of like creative rewrites, you know. That was my impression of watching The Incredible Hulk. It was just really like, yep, that's the Hulk. He does those things.
That
right?
sure was a gosh dang comic book movie.
Right.
C plus.
Yeah, basically. That really had nothing going for it. I have some, okay, now that I think about it, I do have some rewrite ideas, but nothing that makes me want to like actually give a shit. Unlike Thor, while watching Thor, I was thinking like, oh, I know exactly how they could have fixed this, because it's really like, it really is not.
She's like, I'm the auteur. I'm the autist. Put me
Look,
in charge, and I will
low-key.
fix this.
If one thing that I was thinking was that like, if there's one thing I wish, like, because all the Marvel movies are basically just copying the first Iron Man movie, but if there was one thing I wish they all copied, was I wish they would copy the whole angle of like, at the start of the movie, Iron Man is like the worst guy ever. Like, you know, Tony Stark is like a piece of shit. He's like a war profiteer, right? He's
Right.
basically
Character
evil.
development.
Right.
Development. That's what you want.
Right, exactly. I want character development. Or I wish the Marvel movies would have more of their characters start off as like awful people, and then they become better. Like, I think that was the problem with Thor, because Thor like starts the movie like being a douche, and he's like kind of not a douche at the end, and that's it. That's not even like a compelling arc or anything. He's like less of a douche, right? And I'm like, damn, they should have been like, he should have been like a war criminal or something.
Push it more. If you're gonna end at just not as much of a douche, you need to start at a lot worse of a place.
Right, because they do this whole thing where like they go to fucking Jotunheim, which is like the Frost Giants territory, and they start picking a fight with them. And Odin's all like, I don't like that you did that. I'm gonna take away your powers, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't care, because like all the Frost Giants just look like demons, and there's like no like Frost Giant that comes off as a good person. They're just like assholes and that's it, right? And I'm like,
They
what?
don't mention that Loki is a frost giant.
They do later. Like Loki
Okay.
finds out during that fight because it's all like, wow, frost giant magic didn't work on me. There's something wrong with me, right? And I think what should have happened was that instead of like, I think what it should have been was that the 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 frost, instead of it taking place, because another thing is kind of like, what's the point of like the Earth scenes? You know, like it's not super interesting. They have to tie all that shit together. So I was thinking like, okay,
Yeah.
what if there's like no Jotunheim? You know, there's no frost giant planet because they got wiped out in the war, and there's like frost giant refugees on the planet Earth, and they live in a small like village, and they're just like regular people now. And Thor shows up and tries to just pick a fight with the regular people, and he's basically like,
I can't. He's like, my dad genocided you guys, but he didn't do it well enough. I'm here to finish the job.
low key, yeah, because like the movie would start out that there's like a small group of frost giant like radicals who want to take back like there's like a fucking magic box. There's a MacGuffin, right? The Asgardians got the fucking frost giant MacGuffin this thing could turn like planets into New Jotunheim, right? And they're going to use that to make Earth into New Jotunheim, but the Asgardians have it. So this small group of radicals like try to grab it, but they're stopped. And then Thor's like, we got to hit them back. We got to fucking wipe them off the fucking map. And Odin's like, nah, you don't got to do that, cuz like there's literally only like less
12.
than fucking yeah, there's like 12 of them left, and it's like this was just a small group. They're living in peace on Earth, you know. And you know, Thor shows up and he does his shit. He basically pulls up like a cop and he like instigates violence with them, right?
Yes, he's the state violence. He's the state
Yeah.
violence.
Yeah, he's the state violent. And then Odin shows up and he begs forgiveness from the frost giants, and he like, you know, takes away Thor's power, and he flings the hammer across the fucking country. So it becomes like, maybe it can become like a road trip kind of movie where Thor has to travel to where the hammer's at and learn to be a better person.
Is there gonna be a part? Is there gonna be like the low part where he finds out that Loki is a frost giant, and he's like, "No, you're my brother. You're different." And it's like he's making up all this bullshit, and then later he has to realize that like, no, it's not fine that Loki's a frost giant because he's your brother. It's fine that Loki's a frost giant because there's nothing wrong with being a fucking frost giant. Stop being racist, for.
I think I think that Thor will learn to not be racist on his journey, and he'll like kind of question shit like state power and whatnot, you know, on his trip to get his hammer back, right? I think what'd be kind of interesting is that like so while that's going on, Loki's like, oh, I got rid of Thor, now I'm going to be king of Asgard, right? And then Odin's like,
nuts.
Odin's like, oh, I'm not going to give you the throne. Even though Odin's going to enter into Odin sleep, is where he's like knocked out for like a couple months, right?
Right.
And Loki's like, you got to make me king while you're in Odin sleep. And he's all like, no, I don't. But it's also because originally his original plan was he was going to let Thor and Loki like rule, like they were going to have like joint rule over the
Rule
kingdom.
Rule together. That's how you solve sibling rivalry. Instead of giving one of them what they want and not the other one, you give them both the exact same thing because
Right,
they both
yeah.
want it, so it works this time.
So his idea was that they balance each other out, was like his thing that he was trying to like, because one is more rational and one is more rational, but not too many people like him, and the other one is very like outgoing and is all about action and people like him. But like the whole angle would be that like people listen to Thor, but Thor listens to Loki, and it's like this is how it balances itself out, you know. And that was his original plan, but he wasn't aware that like Loki had a lot more schemes. And then, you know, he asked about the whole frost giant thing, and he tells him that like how I would have it is that like during the fucking frost giant Asgard war, the Asgardians fucking wiped out Jotunheim. They fucking just wiped out that whole fucking planet, right? So the frost giants, a small group, like there was only a small group left, so they went to Earth, and they were gonna use their fucking MacGuffin thing, the Bifrost, to like fucking turn Earth into New Jotunheim, right? So they could rebuild, right? But the Asgardians showed up and fucking just like kept just wiped, like overkill basically the frost giants, right? Until like Odin realized that there's nothing left but like civilian frost giants, right? like just regular people, the frost giants. There was no more warriors left, right? And
Just
Odin was
little
like,
guys, the women
right.
and the children.
Right, exactly. He was like wiping out women and children, and then Odin was kind of like, "Oh no, what the fuck am I doing?" Like he'll see like a dying like frost giant mother holding a baby, and he's like, "Oh no, what have I done?" Odin realized that they went too far, and he sees the frost giant baby, and he's like, "I'm gonna raise this baby as my own, and hopefully, by raising him right, we could create a bridge between frost giants and Asgardians, right?" But it didn't work out that way, and then Loki is like very upset that happened, and Loki kind of I kind of want to hit like, what if we do kind of like a mixed race anxiety kind of angle, you know?
Yes, love that.
Yeah.
The relatable, very relatable.
So
Who am I really? What does this mean? Will my brother hate me because I'm a little cold?
Well, how Loki sees it is that like, oh, so I'm being denied Asgard because I'm not an Asgardian. Well, fuck you, Dad. I'm gonna take the Bifrost. I'm gonna take the Frost Giant MacGuffin, and I'm gonna go to Earth and make that to New Jotunheim. I'm gonna rule that because I'm really a Frost Giant. That's my birthright, right? So he takes the Bifrost, goes to Earth, and he joins up with like the Frost Giant extremists. And there's like a certain they can't just activate the Bifrost. They have to do a specific thing. They have to put the dibbly do in the dibbly do. They got to go to a one place specifically and do that, right? And
It's a whole situation. It's not just get the thing. It's also you get the thing and then you do this and then
yeah,
you do
yeah.
that. And then,
You can't just get the thing. There's a whole process to get to fully activate it, right? And they have to go to a specific place on Earth to do that, right? So they do that. But the Frost Giants extremists, like the radicals, are kind of like, okay, we'll do this, but we don't want to be ruled by no Asgardian, right? So it's kind of like the Asgardians don't like him for being, he's too Frost Giant for Asgardians, he's too Asgardian for Frost Giants, right? But like they listen to him anyway because he has the Bifrost. I mean, I think their big plan is they're gonna try to like kill him after he activates it, right? So anyway, Thor's friends in Asgard show up to Earth while Thor's in the middle, like he's halfway there to the hammer, right? And by this point, Thor has learned a lot. He's like, "Oh, I've learned about people. I learned about how bad state power is. Oh, right, exactly. Like,
I learned
I've grown.
empathy. I learned
I've changed,
empathy.
Morty. I learned empathy."
Friends, remember that time when we murdered all those people? That was probably bad. We should talk about that.
Whoa, I've learned, I've changed, right? Thor has changed, right? And then his buddies show up and say like, "Oh no, Thor, Loki's got the Bifrost. He's gonna fucking activate it on Earth." And Thor's like, "Oh fuck!" And we're only halfway to my hammer, and they're thinking like, "Okay, well maybe we should get my hammer first and then go to Loki." But it's also like it's a time crunch, you know. It's like they don't have that much time, so it's like if they get to Thor's hammer, it might be too late to stop Loki. Because then they have to travel to where he's at, right? But also, Thor has, like, doubts. Because Odin did imply that even if he does get to the hammer, he still might be ready to lift it. So it's like, what if I go to the hammer and I can't lift it? Right? So it's like, oh, so what does he do? So a powerless Thor is all like, fuck that. We're going to go to Loki, right? I don't care if I don't have powers. We got to stop him, right? So they go. They have that fucking sled thing with the goats that could fly, like in Norse legend, right? And they all get on there. Also, I didn't mention this earlier, but I was thinking that during like the road trip part of the movie, because in the original Thor movie, fucking Hawkeye makes a cameo, but it's really like it was really a shitty cameo because we don't even see his like we see him, but he's like covered in shadow, and it's like he just shows up to pull the bowstring and then just disappears, and it's like he never comes back. So I'm thinking like just have it that like when Thor goes on his road trip, like Shield was like, whoa, what's going on? All these like portals are keep fucking opening, and they find out about Thor, and they're like, we gotta hunt down this guy who is like a demigod. So they send Hawkeye to like hunt him down, right? And Hawkeye, like, you know, he becomes, over the course of the road trip while he's hunting down Thor, they become buddies, and then when they all go to stop Loki, Hawkeye is there too, because the whole idea is they're warriors, right? They got axes and maces, and Hawkeye's there too, and he's like the archer, right? You see the fucking angle I'm going, right? So they go and they're fighting like Loki, and Thor is like gonna confront Loki powerless, and Loki has this whole idea that that like, oh, you're here to stop another fucking frost giant because you fucking hate frost giants, and like it's like, no, Loki, I'm not here to stop you because you're a frost giant. I'm here to stop you because you're my brother, right? And then Loki's like, oh, right, there's all this shit going on, and then what I would think is that like Thor gives his life, like he sacrifices himself to save like a frost giant, and then once he does that, the fucking like hammer activates and it fucking flies straight to where Thor is at, and like that brings him back to life. So it's like, oh, through this like selfless action, Thor has gained the right to wield the hammer, and then they have their epic battle and whatnot, and it'll be basically the fucking same like in the movie. Loki fakes his death, right, to set up for the fucking Avengers, right? And Thor's like, I won't be racist no more. And then he like he shows up back to that small little like frost giant village, and he like comes back with like to help them rebuild and to give them the opportunity that like they could go to Asgard if they want, right? Like what Asgard would be there to help them, whatnot, and that's how I think that would work a lot better, because it's basically, Thor he changes more. He's like not less douchey now. He's just not a war criminal anymore,
It's also overall a better setup for the other movies in terms of like the things that you established that the old movie did not.
Yeah, because in the fucking original movie, like Loki is like, I'm gonna destroy Jotunheim, and it's like, why the fuck does Thor care? There's no point in the movie where he just like decides, I'm not gonna be racist no more. All it is like, oh, good pussy changes a man. It's what ultimately happens. It's very yep, it's very lame. I really can't take anyone seriously who said they really like that first Thor movie. I think it's just like the people hate the recent Thor movies so much that like they blind themselves to how shitty the older ones were, You get what I'm saying?
I kind of get that. I like Thor as a character. I wouldn't say that the first Thor movie is my favorite out of like all of the Marvel movies. It's like somewhere slightly above the bottom. The second one, I'm glad to not remember anything that happens in it.
I think I don't think I like any of the Thor movies too much. Even like the third one, I thought it was funny, but I feel like I won't like it on a rewatch. Right.
I've never watched a Marvel movie in my life.
That's good. That's beautiful, actually. Yeah, I'm sorry, C2wol. I fucking went on my.
I'm so jealous.
I went on fan fiction rant.
I've been a Tumblr. I've been a Tumblr baby back in like 2013. I know enough through osmosis to understand like some things. I know that Loki's a funny little guy, and that in mythology he gets a lot of poison on him and it drips on him, and his wife's like, no, Loki, illy, wah wah.
I think another thing about that first Thor movie they fuck up is that Thor is not compelling and Loki's way more compelling of a character, which is like
true.
Which is why he keeps coming back, and he's kind of like the only villain that keeps coming back,
Yeah.
because they don't have to like. Okay, we could just let one villain come back. Like, in the Avengers comics, they have like their own version of the Legion of Doom called like the Masters of Evil, but they never get to do that because like there's not enough Avengers villains like left alive to form a Masters of Evil.
GG, they just can't keep them around. So completely, kind of related but completely unrelated. I love Harley Quinn. I love Harley Quinn. No, the character, just in general.
Oh yeah, me too.
I have loved her since her conception. I don't mind the movies. I don't mind the Harley Quinn movies. They're alright. And by alright, I mean I watch them and I enjoy them. I'm not a big connoisseur of movies.
I used to treat the comic books like a guilty pleasure, and then I decided, oh, actually that's stupid. It is just pleasure. Like some of those books slap.
Yeah, we had Protus on last time talking about how like guilty pleasures shouldn't exist. Like if you like something, just fucking be like honest about it. I think the only time you call something a guilty pleasure is if someone who made it committed a fucking crime. Right? Like, oh, I think the only movies we should call guilty pleasures are if we know like pedophiles made that. You know.
My guilty pleasure is Rurouni Kenshin because I watched it before I knew that the author spent his money on CP. Ha ha.
True.
Well,
Very true.
Good thing I pirated all that shit, so he didn't get a dime from me. He.
Imagine the terror in all of the new Rurouni Kenshin fans when they find out. Because they keep bringing that show back.
Rurouni Kenshin is a good story. It's good. It's engaging. I can understand why it keeps coming back. It is also let's not forget. It is also where fucking Oda Oda started.
On it. He was an assistant on a lot of comics, but yeah, he was an assistant on Rurouni Kenshin too.
That's the thing
So if
I
there
know
were no
because I
Rurouni
liked Rurouni
Kenshin,
Kenshin.
there would be no Luffy.
I saw there was this one video talking about like the story of Oda, his whole biography, and there was a part where like because he knew since he was a kid he wanted to be a mangaka. He only ever got a real job once, and he was like a dishwasher at a restaurant, and he hated it. He was like breaking like plates on purpose just so they could fire him. Right? And it's like, and I'm like, wow, he's literally me. He's just like me, Morty. He's just like me.
Morty, he's just like me. I really relate to mangaka Eiichiro Oda, Morty, because
he's just like me, Morty. Right, exactly. Literally.
Tell me if either of you recall this, but I seem to remember that Masashi Kishimoto, an aspect of his lore is that he has a brother who is also an artist. Yeah. And he openly admitted that his brother is a better artist than he is, but his brother also hates art.
Hates art in what way?
Well,
I guess he just doesn't pursue it with the same passion.
Kishimoto started later because Kishimoto was just kind of focused on like having a social life as a kid and whatnot, and not being like crazy about like doing manga like his brother. His brother was like started doing the manga stuff before he did, and then he gave the manga then he's like, okay, maybe I should do manga stuff too, so that's what he was like pivoting towards. And then he made Naruto, and the rest is history.
God, I love Naruto, but I hate Naruto, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I gotcha. Yeah, I've been like, I think I said this before, where like I've been like keeping up to date with Naruto is there's a bunch of like YouTubers who make videos about like recapping fights in Naruto, and the way they describe them is really funny. So I just been catching up like that. Right.
I watched Naruto, and then I never watched Shippuden because I didn't need to, because I watched Hakudai, and that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Shippuden. Pudding.
And then I watched a
sounds
little
delicious.
Hey,
should I put it in? I think so.
I can't do the accent, but like, hey, pudding.
Hey, pudding.
Pudding, you wanna rev up your Harley?
Oh, Mr. J. Oh, Mr. J.
The cartoon.
Mr. J.
Hey, Puddin', don't you want to cup your Rasengan? I got 2 of them right here for you.
The cartoon that Harley came from is I used to watch it all the time because I had nothing.
Batman animated series, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, really good.
That's a classic. I was rewatching the episode where they introduced Mr. Freeze. I think that's my favorite episode of that show, because they just don't make them like they used to. We used to be a country back in the day. Villains were like reciting poetry and whatnot, you know. When was like the last time you heard a villain say anything too fucking crazy? Then you went, oh my god, oh that was epic,
It's been a while.
There's this whole line that Mr. Freeze has in that episode where like he has trapped Batman in the ice, and Batman's like, oh, what are you doing this? And then Mr. Freeze is like, imagine Batman never being able to hold a hand of someone on a warm summer day. I would kill for that. And I'm like, that goes so hard. I really butchered that though. It's longer, but
Madman, all I want to do is fuck my wife, but she's frozen, Batman. She's frozen. I can't fuck my wife because touching her kills her, Batman. Do you know what this does to me? I'm
there's this one scene in that episode. I mentioned it when I was on the PCP where Mr. Freeze does this thing to like cuz I'm going to post the gif of it cuz he has to get inside the building, so he like kicks off this fire hydrant and puts his blast in the water stream, and that like propels him into the building. You seeing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a really fucking interesting way to use the power.
I love it when stuff like this happens in these kinds of things because you don't normally see it.
Yeah, exactly. I think
It's like, oh yeah, the Ninja Turtles have weapons. Why do I never see them use them?
there's something about like there's something like about like in live action. Like I can't remember the last time someone used their powers in like an interesting way in a live action movie. It seems like the most like interesting use of superpowers are only in animated movies, right? I can't think of any. There's never a moment in the MCU where I'm thinking like, oh, that was really cool. That was a really cool way to use your power, you know? Like it's more like they don't even like take their time to like explain their powers anymore on stuff, you know? Right?
Have you guys
They
watched
watch clips of Batman and Robin in the old TV show scaling a building, and they say, "We can't top that. Might as well not even try."
Exactly. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yes, you're 100% right. What were you gonna say, C2wol?
Have you guys watched the live action One Piece?
Yeah, I did. I like it.
Yeah.
Nice. Excellent.
Yeah,
I also like it.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that were against it. I remember fucking you know who Alex Robinson is?
Yeah.
He's the creator of Mr. Boop. It's like that one comic.
Oh, yeah, I know Mr. Boop.
Yeah, so for people who don't know, Mr. Boop is like a comic where like this guy is like, I'm dating Miss Betty Boop. That's so epic, right? And it's like this kind of funny, ironic thing, and then I guess it gets darker. I stopped reading it because I was like, this is not funny no more. But people really loved it. They ate it up. I liked the guy at one point too, but like he's just gotten more annoying on Twitter, which is kind of like that eventually happens with everyone. Okay, so he basically said that if you he made a tweet saying like if you even consider watching the live action One Piece, you don't even know what the main appeal was in the manga. You don't really fucking appreciate it. It's like, dude, calm the fuck down.
I mean, but the live action, like, it has the base appeal. It's like it could never. The live action adaptation could never do what the manga does because the anime can't do what the manga does. I think it's just not possible. So instead, it goes for like.
There's a handful of things in the live action that I like. Oh, I like this. This is something they would never do in the manga. One thing that they do that I thought was like, yeah, they don't do this shit in the manga is like when characters work together to fight. You know?
Yeah, but that's also cool. Like obviously the manga has individual fights because individual fights are like cool shonen shit. Bitches love that.
I like that they did that in the live action. Like I thought, that works.
They did have Usopp team up with like a few people a few times, like Usopp and Chopper in fucking Alabasta.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that was like a double fight, right? Like there was 2v2, so. But
yeah.
Yeah, they and I think one in the live action, like we see Luffy like be self-reflective for the first time ever, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, maybe I could be hurting my crew, you know. And he never considers that shit in like the manga because Luffy's just like in the manga he's just like I already know what I everything I do is based on gut instinct and my gut has never been fucking wrong. It seems to always be correct about everything every single time, right?
I mean,
and
that's
Alabasta,
fine. Right?
That works.
With in Alabasta with Sick Nami, a fucking god, Vivi tells him off and he listens to her. Mm-hmm. And I think that's they basically did that with Zoro in this first season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope I because they have a second season, so I wonder what that implies for like the Chopper arc, because they're probably not going to waste time doing that exact same thing again, which means they're probably going to do something different for Chopper. But also, I hope Chopper's a Muppet.
Oh my god,
I forgive Alec though because Crime Hot is good.
Okay, well, Crime Hot might be good. I haven't read it. It looks good. Right? It's just that I don't know, that Alec guy has been getting on my nerves, and I bet that's how people feel about me sometimes. That Bongo Luna's
Oh
good,
yeah,
but Cheesymanfredo is super fucking annoying.
Maybe.
that is definitely how people feel about you, Cheesy.
Right, exactly.
I've heard that.
I
I've heard that about you from other people.
heard that, like, yeah, his comics are good, but that motherfucker's straight up annoying.
Well,
That's
and
awesome.
Cheesy, I was a part of the PCP, like the PCP fan community.
Uh-oh. 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 Zynga.
I did pay for Radcon 4, so
No, that's fine. I don't. That's fine. Someone, Ben Saint guested on like a couple episodes ago, and someone commented saying like, "Oh, Ben should be on this more often." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, so you can fucking pretend this is the PCP, motherfucker? Is that it?" So you can like, "Oh, my favorite episodes of Main Character Syndrome is where I can pretend I'm listening to the PCP."
if I know the PCP
What if people
is
start
dead and you need to
commenting on
let it go.
episodes like "No Nate, no watch"?
No
And it's
watch!
Like, Nate isn't even on this show.
What if like maybe I could get. Nah, I probably can't. The motherfucker like just is living a normal life now.
He's freed himself.
He's free. Yeah, him and his fucking fiance. Yeah, they're fucking living regular life. You know, it's funny because I'm mutual with Michelle, and we're buddies. We talk we're like once every 6 months, and and I see on her Instagram story that she's posting pictures because they went to Japan recently. And
nice.
yeah, Nate's in it sometimes, and when Nate is doing something funny in those Instagram stories, I screenshot it, I post it in the Ben server, and someone in the Ben server told me like, it's like that's so weird because Nate in his own fucking like private Discord server with his fans never even said where the fuck he's been this whole time.
Oh, okay. So you remember the spicy salt situation, right?
I am aware, yes. I remember the spicy salt situation.
So there was a period of time when Nate thought that he was in a spicy salt situation because Nate's branding was, "Hey guys, hold me accountable to my word," and his fans tried to hold him accountable to his word, and he was concerned they were gonna. Not by doxing him, just by being like, "Hey, dude, you haven't done this thing. You need to do this thing. You said you were gonna," like, just being on to him about it, like consistently, like making comments when he's like on like fucking social media on Twitter saying something, being like literally just harassing him with, "Hey, you need to get this shit done."
Nice
he was
opinion,
online,
bro,
I'm
but
pretty sure.
where's my content? Where's my slop?
Where's my fucking content,
Yeah.
motherfucker?
Literally that shit. And so he was concerned because I think that was the last time I really like talked to Michelle. He was concerned that like a member of the Pro and On was like
was
going
gonna
to
kill him.
spicy salts him, and it's like he
Oh,
said this to
jeez.
like Dune Coon, and like Michelle asked us, and we're like, no, he's not going to do that. This is literally just the result of Nate's marketing. Nate literally told him, like, in a Patreon video, Nate, in a Patreon podcast, Nate literally said, "No, you're right. I need you guys to hold me accountable." Which is probably why he doesn't tell his patrons what he does or where he goes. Because he's like, "I'm not giving you too much of myself anymore. You don't need to know this shit. You don't need to hold me accountable. That is not the relationship we have."
Damn. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And
Once
that's
you're like,
the correct move.
once you're like getting
Yeah.
away from all that shit, yeah, you're like, okay, guys, I'm not no longer a content machine. That era's over. You know, I did everything I wanted to do, or maybe I didn't, but that doesn't fucking matter. You know, it's time for other people to rise up. I think I'm older than most of them when they first did the PCP at this point.
And wiser.
And wiser.
Definitely.
No
definitely
spicy
older than
salts in
Munchie.
this camp.
Hopefully not. Hopefully fucking never. I tried not to attract that kind of fucking crowd. What the fuck was I gonna say? I think yeah, that kind of
Spicy salts.
that makes me think about how like I've not done anything in my Patreon. I haven't given any patrons anything, and I'm thinking about just being like maybe doing something like Hazel does it, where like you don't get no bonus things on my Patreon. That's just to pay me to keep doing the things I'm already doing, right?
That's the way it should be, mostly.
I haven't even
mean-
like like I haven't worked on anything that's like a comic that like I do the fucking shitpost comics, but I don't like, I don't know, I don't think there's any point of like putting that behind a paywall first yet, you know? Like I don't think I'm that popular enough. I mean, people like do voiceovers to my comics and whatnot and like add their own like little thing and whatnot. That's fine. I appreciate that. But like I don't think I'm at that point where like people are like really living it up. They're really like, oh, we want more. Oh, I'd pay to get it early, right? I've gotten people to make like transphobic edits of my comic.
Dang.
I don't ask for that. I think assholes just do that.
I mean, they would. Transphobes are freaks. I just use my Patreon as like an art dump, and if I don't, I haven't gotten I admittedly haven't dumped any art this year, but at the end of the year, I'm basically going to take my year folder, clean it up a bit, chuck it on Patreon, and I don't post most of my art online, really. So it's like, what you get is everything I haven't posted online. If you like my shit, you get to see all of the shit I make. All of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
I
the reward.
don't do that. I have a lot of exclusives on my Patreon. There are actually 2 tiers of exclusive. There's stuff that's patron only, and then there's a plus version where you connect to my website through Patreon, and that's like the super exclusive, like this probably won't get posted anywhere else stuff.
Have you been getting any boosts for your Patreon thanks to this podcast? Probably not, because I don't put
Probably
any,
not.
Yeah,
No.
I have not. I don't put any links on these episodes. I should.
Unlike the Drawcast, where
That's extra
where
work,
everyone's links are always in the description at the Drawcast. You can watch the Drawcast on YouTube.
Yeah, watch the Drawcast. I'm on a couple of those episodes.
Oh,
The
dude.
Drawcast that has everyone, but not me.
Oh yeah.
Do you draw, Julian? Do you want to be on the Drawcast?
Kinda, but I also don't want to ask like a chump.
Dude.
I'm waiting for my Smash Bros invite.
A Smash Bros invite, huh? That's what you want? How does Smash Bros invites work?
They throw an envelope at your face, and if you don't die,
he wants Oblivion to fucking get on his knees and be like, please be on the on the fucking Drugcast, Julian, please. That's what he wants.
Okay. Here we go. You ready, Julian? Get in here,
Although
bitch.
now that I have said
Get in
that,
here, bitch.
now I have to ask.
Get in here, bitch. I sent you the link. Get in here.
Well, it's worked.
Oh shit!
It's worked now.
Yep. It's in 5 seconds. You just need to say, yeah, I'm fine, and you're in. That's it. It's pretty easy.
Damn.
Also,
I am on my knees groveling. Thank you. I am sorry for the things I said 5 seconds ago.
yeah, you said it.
I'm sorry all the shit talking I did of the Drawcast in previous episodes.
Also, most importantly, we animated Cuphead bosses on the Drawcast, and I was lazy. For my Cuphead boss that I designed, Cheesy, I just made you.
Oh, you know what? I saw it in the thumbnail, and I was like, that looks very familiar.
Yeah,
I
said it in the designing thing. It's like I couldn't come up with an idea, and then I saw you, Cheesy, and I drew you. And then Spork was like, okay, what's their name? And I'm like, well, dude, it's just creamy pasta, the clown.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, but what's their Cuphead name? And I'm like, Boingo Boingo.
That isn't too bad. Kind of dig that. I think
Yeah. Got animated by Teleperte.
Cool.
It's
Yeah,
like
so-
that thing that people post with Garfield where he sees a picture of himself and he says, oh, I wonder who this is for. It's Cheesy looking at a picture of creamy pasta.
Wait, are you saying they didn't want me on the Drawcast? Is that what you're fucking saying?
Oh no, it would be the opposite of that.
Right, okay.
It's just
good.
a reference to you.
There's like this animation I saw recently. I linked it in my server, but it was like that one scene from the Sonic OVA with Metal Sonic, and it's all like, you know everything I'm gonna do, but I know everything you're gonna do. Strange, isn't it? Which is a fucking amazing ass quote, and I wanna sneak that into something like unironically, but someone animated like instead of Sonic it's Garfield, and instead of Metal Sonic it's Metal Garfield.
Fucking Metal Garfield.
And have you ever seen the shot is really cool because they're like forehead to forehead and they're like both running and they're both running so fast that like they stand still because they're like running at the same like speed and momentum, right? And the Garfield says the line and then the fucking Metal Sonic just in a robot voice says lasagna and then they fucking start like fighting. It's like a quick clip, but it's really great.
Dude, I think if I was to think of like a metal, the closest thing I could think of like a metal Garfield is just normal. Normal's just Garfield but gray.
Well, this Metal Garfield, like you can look at it from the thumbnail. It's called Garfield OVA, Garfield versus Metal Garfield. The Metal Garfield just looks like Metal Sonic, but like as Garfield.
I see it.
Right,
I see
there's
it.
not too there's not too much of a crazy change, but it's great. Okay. Yeah. What's up, buddy? What's up, friend? No.
It's a what do they call it? A question that's like deliberately problematic. Loaded question. Is Normal a guy or a girl?
Normal's a guy, isn't
Normal's, I'm pretty sure.
Normal's a racist femboy, right?
Normal's assigned male at birth, I believe.
Yeah, Normal's a guy.
Normal's
I always get a different answer, so I like asking that question.
It's
some people be
Garfield
like, "What? Normal's a girl."
Garfield's homophobic.
Why? Because Normal has eyelashes?
You know.
Because Normal has eyelashes? Is that why Normal's a girl?
No, Garfield
Men
hates
can't have
like
eyelashes, huh?
Garfield just
I don't know
hates
about
men
that.
who,
I have
like,
crazy eyelashes.
who break gender norms. Garfield just fucking he's a piece of shit like that, you know. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I could talk shit about Garfield, otherwise I'd never be able to speak to Elliot again, and I don't want to risk that.
He's a big Garfield head.
He likes Garfield a bit more than the usual amount, you know?
I think Garfield is fine. You know, I have no strong
I'm more of a
opinions.
Heathcliff guy.
Heathcliff is great.
Isn't the creator of Heathcliff like a crazy man?
He's like
crazy
he's like dead. I think his nephew is currently drawing the comic, and his nephew has turned it into like a weird, absurdist, like surreal comic with its like own lore and like jokes. And I think this is pretty awesome. I like to see a show of like this very surreal take on fucking like Heathcliff. I love the shit like Garbage Ape or like when Heathcliff wears a helmet that says like he's got his meat helmet and it's just a helmet that says meat on it. It's like it's like, oh god, there's so many layers because it implies that Heathcliff has worn the meat helmet before and something bad happened when he wears the meat helmet, like he eats too much, right? So he might eat too much meat and he wears the helmet as a precaution for himself, but everyone else is doomed to face Heathcliff's meat eating habit, you know.
I was thinking of Dilbert.
Oh, Dilbert, the white guy.
Yeah,
Now that's a guilty pleasure.
That guy's crazy. That guy's insane. I want to see his opinion on the American Society of Magical Negroes. I think his opinion will be enlightening. God, this movie seems like one of those movies where like progressive people and racist people are gonna like agree that this looks bad. So I should make a list of like movies that both racist and progressive people hate.
Things that both racist and progressive people
and it's mostly gonna be like
on pizza.
It's gonna be mostly like those shitty like liberal like Oscar bait movies like The Green Book.
The Green Book.
Yeah, Green Book was not good. Green Book, not good, folks, not good. All right, I think we're getting close to the end, so let's do our ending.
We're getting close to 2 hours. 2 hours of us.
2 hours, too much. All right.
Too much time spent with Cheesymanfredo will kill you.
Exactly. You know, and you don't want that. You don't want.
And the listener is like, "What? No, I can take it.
I can take it.
Give me more.
Give me
again.
Give me it all. Right.
Inject the Cheesymanfredo into my veins.
Inject it into my pussy. I need it. I need the cheesyflation.
I should I wish we were popular enough. We gotta stop Biden. He's increasing cheesyflation. And Biden, back when I was president, cheese was cheap. It was inexpensive. It was free. Now Biden has made everything so expensive. you see that fake edit where like Trump is talking about how like lemonade was better when I was president. It didn't kill you. Under Biden, lemonade kills you. That's awesome. Yo, he was so real for that. Okay. All right. Ending
Trump's
bit.
a lunatic.
Maybe
He'd make a great guest.
Do you think we should retire the whole like who deserves to get canceled? Do you think we need a new bit?
Maybe. I am not in the canceling mood,
Yeah,
even though I constantly see things that annoy me.
I can't think of too many people I want to cancel right now. Is there anyone you want to cancel, C2wol?
No, not really. I feel like canceling is ineffective against anyone I would want to cancel, because to cancel someone, you need to be in the same.
Maybe
you be a part of the same group, and I'm not in the group.
Maybe we gotta like do the opposite. Like what needs to get woke? What?
What needs to get like? What are we boosting?
What should we uncancel?
What should we uncancel?
I think there's a sexual consent service that recently launched in Japan, and a lot of people are mixed on it. But haven't people been asking for this for like ever?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You have a little app on your phone that says sex, and then the other person says yes.
I think the problem is that you could grab someone's phone and make it say yes, and it'd be like, oh, see, they consent. They made the app, right? Like there's avenues for like manipulation.
Yeah.
And we all.
I mean, that's always going to be the problem with consent, because you can revoke consent at any time. If you say no, and they like what you said yes before, you have to. That's not real consent. Consent's messy like that. There's never going to be clean consent. It's a dirty, dirty world.
Exactly.
Oh, like that movie Secretary, where it's implied, oh no, he's like doing it unconsensually, but if you actually watch the movie, she's into it.
Yeah, some people have that as a fetish, but I think you need to be you need to be honest with someone about that before, like, in case, like, you don't have, like, how are they supposed to know, like, psychically,
Communication is key. Communication is key.
I was gonna.
If you
could never do the secretary in real life. It's true.
I was trying to think of.
If you don't want something, say it. And if you do want something, say it. And if they don't listen to you, fuck them. But not literally. Stop fucking them.
I was trying to think of maybe we could do something like say a take that could get you canceled. What's your cancelable take?
Oh, I have a bunch of cancelable takes.
I had a couple. I had one just right now that gave me the idea, but I just forgot it.
Every few months, I'm like, I am a fan of Max Landis, and everyone like jumps down my throat.
I do really like the wrestling video by Max Landis, but I mostly like it because I love The Undertaker, and Triple H has The Undertaker in it. But he should have made it about he should have made it about Eddie Guerrero. He should have made it about Eddie Guerrero.
That'd been pretty good. Did you
It's funny that he chose Triple H because I think he sees himself in that character probably, which is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine dropping a bad bitch like China. Imagine that. Fucking insane.
Imagine.
Did you hear about fucking Undertaker being like a Trump supporter and he's like hardcore right wing?
No! Damn. Don't tell me that!
I knew.
Don't do this. See, this is why Eddie Guerrero is the best, because he's dead. He can never be a Trump supporter.
He can never be tainted.
No one can ever ruin Eddie Guerrero for me. He's perfect. He lies, he cheats, he steals, he's handsome and the best.
You either live long enough to be a right-wing nutbag, or you die a hero.
Mm-hmm.
As Eddie Guerrero did. God, I love Eddie Guerrero.
I think
my cancelable take is the same cancelable take I say all the time, and that's 9/11 was a POC victory.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I think like 9/11 truthers are like racist. But there's this one tweet I saw that I thought was very funny, where someone was talking about that they're only on Facebook because they join a bunch of groups where people think they have superpowers, right? And for some reason, like recently, all of them have taken like anti-woke pivots. So the people who are like, yeah, I totally have superpowers, are anti-woke. That's kind of funny.
Which I should clarify, I don't condone Max Landis's actions. I acknowledge that he is a terribly fucked up guy and probably should have spent time in jail. Probably.
Look, if he was actually talented, people would have forgiven him. I think.
Oof.
I think that's like the truth, though. That's because people forgive like that's why motherfuckers are okay with Kanye. Like he's talented. His recent stuff has not been that good.
I think it's the vibes. I think it's the vibes. Kanye gives a fucking
also he
crazy
comes off
uncle who's
very
going through a
mentally.
divorce.
He comes off very mentally ill too. That helps. Max Landis it comes off as like his thing was like, oh yeah, I totally know what I'm doing. I totally knew I was sexually assaulting those women.
Okay, here's the thing. Kanye made Power and Jesus Walks and fucking Graduation, and Max Landis
And
made
we love
one
Jesus,
good video.
of course.
I like most of his videos. Like he's been doing these Superman things, and
I
I'm
saw
really
that.
into.
Didn't he do like a
all of
Superman play or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to watch
Like
that.
he's approaching it from this
that.
angle where he's doing the Justice League, and like all of the Batman centric stuff gets twisted around to where they are changed based on Superman's influence. So you have all of these villains like the Riddler and Mr. Freeze, who would be good guys if it weren't for like the way that Gotham functions. And so as he's writing it, Superman is intervening in a lot of interactions with these characters, and they become kind of like good guys outside of Batman's influence. And it's funny and cool.
And like Batman's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is that, like, in
That's a
Batman
take.
comics, usually, Batman is trying his best to help these people who are, like, in circumstances.
It depends on the
One
comic.
rich guy can't fix the... Yeah, but the good ones. The good ones are when Batman's cool. The bad ones are when Batman's the bad guy.
The way that he approaches Batman might be considered problematic because Batman is kind of like a paranoid, schizophrenic asshole who treats everyone like dirt.
I think that's fine. I think you know what I'm tired of. I'm tired of like where's all the evil Batman stories? There's too many like evil Superman stories. I feel like Batman taking the evil pivot is much more easier to like think of than
Then
like.
he's just a rich white guy, Cheesy. We have enough of those in the world. That's boring. We want an
No,
evil
no.
god, not something we live with every day.
See, this is why
It kind of works in Max's story though because he's paralleled with Lex Luthor. And so like because Luthor is also present in the story, you're kind of able to forgive Batman because at least he's not Lex. Even though they're the same.
I think that's a very fucking interesting angle. What was I gonna say? Yeah, this is why I need to do my Joker 2 fan fiction comic. I have my idea for a Joker sequel.
I have heard you talk about it, and
Yeah.
I'm more interested in seeing that than the Lady Gaga movie.
Thank you. I'm interested in Lady Gaga movie, but I kind of want because mine was gonna have like an evil Batman in it, and yeah, I think we just need more of that. I think
Hold on.
here's
Does evil Batman have all the Robins in the Bat family? Is it an evil Bat family?
no.
Or is it just evil Batman?
He's just a guy, but what I'm thinking. Okay, so something that I was thinking about. I think the biggest sign. I think the best kind of fictional characters are the ones that are very like versatile that you could like create a lot of different scenarios and it could work. And I think the two big examples of characters who work like that are like Godzilla and Batman. I think both are very like versatile as like characters and concepts. But I think Godzilla
Controversial take. Also, Sonic the Hedgehog.
oh, potentially. I feel see here's the thing, I think any character could be like that. Like you could do the story where like because Godzilla could be anything. Yeah, he could be a good guy, he could be a bad guy, he could be just a force of nature. Right?
Yeah.
It's all these like billion things that you could do with Godzilla. And I feel like we should try to push that harder with other characters like Batman. You do that with Spider-Man, like you know. Just go for
Godzilla a representation of Japan's anxiety after nuclear warfare?
it can be. It can be one of those things. Right? But he could also be a
That's
guy
how it
who
works.
fights space aliens sometimes. Like sometimes a giant monster space alien shows up and he's like, I better kick his ass, right? And that works too.
Make your characters more metaphorical and then they're more flexible. Metaphors could be anything.
Well, because like okay, so because I was talking to my this might be the last thing I'm gonna talk about before we end the podcast. But I was talking to my partner because they're very upset about the whole Squid Game reality show and how it seems like people keep missing the point of Squid Games. And I'm like, there's a lot of like well, here's the thing. Instead of being like mad at those people, I like to think like, okay, what about Squid Games makes it very easy for people to miss the point, right? And a lot of it is because it's just these fun deaf games, like it's entertaining watching these people play these games. We're enthralled by it, so we can overlook the whole like, oh, this is capitalism, guys, angle, because we're more entertained by the game, and that's just how it's kind of like the version of that one meme about the guy missing the point. Well, that's because there's like something there. There's something there that like that allows them to miss the point. Like there's something there that they could prioritize more than like, oh, this is about capitalism, right? And that's just something people just need to like think about. When they consume media or they like make their own media, like what do you what are the things that you want people to mostly like focus on? And sometimes people aren't always gonna fucking get it. It's not like just because like, oh, your message could be crystal clear, but you could still make like a shitty like product, or a shitty movie, right? Even though the message is obvious, right? It could still be bad. So it's all like,
Yeah.
I mean, the message being obvious tends to like, because if you have to overstate, like good art, in my opinion, especially when it comes to like general media, is something that makes you think about it more. If it lives in your brain for longer, the more likely you are to like, watch it again and really think about it. I feel like when art is easily misinterpreted because they're like distracted by something else, that's, in my opinion, when it's like, when it's good shit, when there's like a clear and obvious message, like don't join Fight Club bad, but a bunch of idiots still think Fight Club good. I feel like that's when it's like, you've written something that requires a bit of thinking and is entertaining enough for anyone to enjoy. And that's good art, even if the outcome kind of sucks and you hate yourself and you hate your fans.
Yeah, I guess. But I think it's been records to say that the guy who wrote Fight Club low-key believes in the stuff they're saying. So it's like interesting. And I think
I thought it was like literally the opposite, where he's like, no, this is talking about how masculinity is bad, and all the people who like this, like, I thought he went on record to say like, oh, people who like my main character and think he's the best, the red flag, don't go out with them.
He might have said that. I know that David Fincher directed Fight Club said something like that. There's like a story where like his daughter brought like a guy friend home. And the guy friend was like, "Oh, I fucking love Fight Club. It's my favorite movie." And then he told the guy like, "Hey, never talk to my daughter ever again."
Yeah.
But it's
get the fuck out of here. I don't trust you to be media literate enough to say that. And
Monkey Punch's daughter brings a guy home. The guy says, "Oh, I love Lupin. He's my favorite.
I love
character.
Lupin. Oh, I love it when he
don't come to my house ever again."
Monkey Punch is a crazy guy. All right, I think that's it. Anything you want to promote, C2wol?
Did I mention the Drawcast on this podcast once already? I believe I did, but
go follow
in case you
the
weren't paying
Drawcast.
attention.
It's got C2wol. C2wol co-hosts that with Oblivion Fall. I've been on a couple times. I mean, if you look on my playlist that says every podcast I've been on, you will find that I was on the Drawcast recently. I think that was the most recent podcast I've been on. I'm trying to go on more podcasts. If people know people who do podcasts, I'll jump in. I don't really care, unless it's run by evil people. But
define evil.
You know what?
Nux Taku.
Oh, dude. I mean, I would get on a podcast with Nutaku.
I would not.
Not because I like him, but because I really don't know too much about him, and I don't know. I think it'd be kind of interesting. I'm not super.
You would expand
opposed.
his lore by force.
I would just want to see what he's like, I guess. I mean, I don't like him. I don't like him, but I'll be on a podcast with him.
I get to know him. First date sort of situation.
Right, exactly. Whatever he's been presented, whatever I've seen him as, I want to see what's the dealio, what's going on under the hood.
That makes sense.
But anyway, go to the Drawcast. Julian, what's up? What are you up to?
I am promoting vqcd.in. In the last episode, I said that I'm taking a break this December, which I am, but you should still go to my website, vqcd.in, because after New Year's, I'm going to be doing my year review blog post, and it will be on the front page for you to read.
Nice. And Cheesymanfredo, follow me on Twitter. Follow all of us on Twitter. I've been having a lot of shitty things happening to me close to the end of the year, but I'm surviving. I'm gonna
Wait, don't tell me something else happened.
no, not recently. And hopefully nothing happens until like next year for me, right? But I'm gonna make more stuff. I'm gonna make more I have comics lined up. I have little funny. I have this idea for like a group project, and I'm gonna try to like figure out the minutia for that. Closer to the end of the year, because I think people are gonna really dig it and they're gonna like it. And yeah, that's I think that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening to Main Character Syndrome. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.